Barrister Archibong, you just listened to Policy Alert. They've been following the money. Now they've told us what they found. If Wike says he thanks President Muhammadu Buhari for paying them this monies, and Policy Alert looked in their books and didn't find any record of this, then where did Wike get the money he's been spending and giving credit to President Muhammadu Buhari for?
Well, at the inception of the program and at the top of your questioning, you did talk about whether it is political in nature. His
yes.
comment. I tend to believe that there are elements of facts and there is also elements of politics involved. Remember, he said, President Muhammadu Buhari and APC says they want to continue. Do you want to continue with the banditry? Do you want to continue with the terrorism? Do you want to continue with the high inflation? Do you want to continue with the high level of education? Do you want to continue with the bombings that are taking place all over the country? What do you want to continue? And in this instance, because there is some level of schism between himself and within the party and other elements in the party, he's playing to the gallery to the extent that he's trying to please people from different camps politically, but at the same time, he's also bringing out facts to bear. At the same time, he's bringing out facts to bear. But it would have been so much easier for people to, really appreciate what he's saying if he had a piece of paper there or a cardboard to say, this is precisely what I received from the federal government. Okay, it's not a Federation
and this is what I used it for.
Committee. It's under Section 162, Section 162, subsection 2. That's where the derivative money comes from, 13% derivative. This is what I have received. This is when I received it for this period of time, and this is how much I've expended in terms of building bridges, in terms of building the law school, in terms of helping the educational sector of this state. And all of this money is coming from this. And I challenge the other governors to say exactly and precisely what they have received. And as a matter of fact, Governor Nyesom Wike is the chief security officer of Rivers State. Okay? He sits in the body of the council body, FEC, for the Federation as well. One of the other things is that he receives security briefings. And within those security briefings, he can easily ask and most likely will get to know what the other states did receive. So he could have published that information and say, if you doubt me, if you disbelieve me, then go ahead and publish actually what has been received. That would have been a selfless service, not just to the people of Rivers State, not just to the people of Niger Delta, but to all the people of the Federation of Nigeria. Now, here is the challenge. We don't exactly know what he has received. Yes, he has received something. No one would debate that. But what he's saying now, is it to spite the IU camp in PDP to say, listen, I can call whoever I want to call, and he actually did say that. I can invite whoever I want to invite and to commission the projects. Is that to spite? Well, some might say yes, to an extent, yes. Some might say no, it's just revealing what has been hidden. Remember when I did talk about the elements of good governance, and remember when I did talk about transparency. You can never progress democratically and in terms of good governance without transparency. We say that, being transparent is like having sunshine that touches, places that the sun has not touched before. There's going to be growth. There's going to be development. And the truth usually comes out when there is some level of transparency, at least even baby steps of transparency. We are having challenges here because we don't know when anything was received, what was received, what it has been used for, and people are keeping mum. This is precisely the reason why we must, at the next go-around, review of the Constitution, remove the immunity clause from the state governors because it is so debilitating to the development of the country. If people say that the immunity clause must be there, I'll point to the example of Governor Blagojevich in the United States, who attempted to sell the seat of former President Barack Obama. And when they found out he was removed from his position as governor, he was tried, he was found guilty, and he was sentenced to jail. Now, there is no reason why a sitting governor in Nigeria cannot be removed, cannot be tried, and cannot be sentenced for criminal violations and infractions. When you touch the funds of the people, now that's a criminal act in and of itself, and a person must be tried for that. But because of the immunity, everybody just keeps quiet because there's really nothing you can do. We can come on TV and talk till our veins pop out from our necks, and the people will just say, let them talk. There's nothing that they can do. We can sue. You can't even sue to have the information published. But here is the most important thing. If President Muhammadu Buhari, who has been, you know, his praises has been sung by Governor Nyesom Wike, the latest crooner in town. You know, it's a pain we are enjoying here. If President Muhammadu Buhari wants to be transformational in terms of making sure that the states have their 13% derivatives on time and in a full-fledged manner, he should publish the information. There is really no reason why anyone in the Federation of Nigeria has to become an investigator and has to become so profound in terms of trying to dig up information. Whereas the Federal Ministry of Information, the Federal Ministry of Finance as well, the Budget Office should be able to publish this information, and every Nigerian that so desires can go ahead and pick up this information and say, hey, as you are debating the budget, here is what you have received. Point precisely to what you have done with this information. Let me put it this way. We are in the election seasons, and some people say this is the silly season, right? If we had this information from the federal government, guess what will happen? ABN would be able to bring all the candidates that are vying for gubernatorial positions in the Niger Delta states and say to them, you have received this amount of money. At least your state has received this amount of money. It is highly probable, more probable than not, that if you were to become governor, you will receive something similar to this. What would you do with this money? Number one. Number two, would you be able to condemn the fact that there's been little or no transparency in the receipt of this money and in the disposition of this money by your predecessors? What would you do differently? Now, because we don't have that information, even if you bring them here, they don't have the facts to be able to respond to that type of a question. So generally, what we have done now is to play along to the gallery, just exactly as Governor Nyesom Wike has made us to play. It has become a talking point. One, President Muhammadu Buhari has gone to commission the projects, and now he's a talking point that he's a transformational president because he has done what no other president, including PDP president, has been able to do since 2009. And before then, Peter Obi was there, and you know, if you don't like it, let it pain you that I can invite anybody to come and commission projects. But it also pains us that we are not able to point to specific projects that have been executed with the money that Akwa Ibom State, Delta State, or any other state apart from River State has done. I mean, I expected that if such a statement was made by Governor Nyesom Wike, that the other commissioners of finance in the different states will get up and, you know, vigorously say, we received this amount,
and this is what we use it for.
But that is not what is happening now. In fact, there's been no sunlight in the areas where these commissioners would be able to come out and say, this is precisely what we have used it for. Remember, this is campaign time, as I said. So maybe this money, some people might say, maybe some of this money was kept aside so that it would become a war chest for the people in power to be able to perpetuate themselves by naming their successors and also being able to garland their successors in a beautiful manner for the people to be able to accept them.
Let's come to you, Ms. Amfon Gabriel. Many people say Wike's revelation is half-baked. It's not